Lisa. I want to challenge you to a children's card game.
What card game, Ben? Uno? Goldfish? Blackjack?
No, Lisa. Wixoss.
What?
Wixoss. A game where you would...
Wixoss? I know.
Wixoss.
A sauce for a wig? What?
Wixoss. A card game where you and a select few others are chosen to play a deadly game of...
You gamble your life away until you die?
Not necessarily. If you lose the game, you'll be doomed to become a background character. So, I'm Mo.
And I'm Fo.
And together, we're MOFO. Alrighty, so in this card game, we have two main characters. Suzuko. She has a father who's never there, and she comes from a wealthy family, and she's very lonely, and she has this best friend. What's her best friend?
Her best friend's name is Chinatsu.
She's the long-lost best friend of Suzuko. And when they were little kids, they had a little itty-bitty fringy promise that they will find each other in the future and everything will be hunky-dory, but then life happened. And
they moved away from each other, so they were like, we're still be best friends, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Right?
Right. No. That's not how life works, kids. 6 or 7 years in the future, they come back,
And then they're challenged to a children's card game!
Right, kinda. Suzuko comes back to her hometown only to find that Chinatsu's nowhere to be found, but little to her knowledge, Chinatsu's family went bankrupt. And that's where it gets sad and, the feels get hurt. So, Suzuko, not having anybody to relate to, sees this game called Wixoss. So she goes to the card game store and picks up this game. Little to her knowledge, it would change her life forever. So the setting is a school kind of setting. It's kind of like a battle arena where you never know who's up against you.
Well, it's just regular life. But then you got two people who have little avatars that tell them, oh my god, there's another person coming this way, you need to battle them! You need to battle them! So it's just everyday life.
Do you see how impactful this anime is? We even forgot to mention the most important part. In this card game, you have a little avatar, and they're like this little thing that lives in one of your cards, and it's just like, hey, listen, there's somebody near you that wants to fight you. And you could either be like, oh no, I don't want to lose all my memories, or like, oh no, I don't want to become a background character. It's more like,
you need to battle them or else you lose your memories anyway.
it's like the Yu-Gi-Oh app now. It's letting you know, it lets you know when there's somebody around, right?
That's weird. You can stalk people with that. And aside from basic reality, there's also an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Think of Yu-Gi-Oh! In the Shadow Realm or Madoka Magica in their weird alternate reality. Weird.
So the genre is kind of like fantasy, but slice of life-y. I know that it does hit close to home.
It's very boring.
It's kind of dramatic because you kind of
boring.
You kind of sort of feel for these people, but yeah, it's boring.
You don't feel for them at all.
Right. And so the art style is very flat. It kind of seems like the stereotypical anime that you do see out there.
It's very muted.
Yeah.
It's very low-key, not very high energy until they actually start fighting.
Yeah, and then the
then
animation
it's like
is
a minute of high action, and then it's the.
So the way that the game works is that you have 5 coin slots. You get one of those coins to start off with. One of those coins is your memories. We don't know what happens when you get that 5th coin because we stopped watching it after episode 4 when we find out what happens when you lose all your coins. And I thought it was gonna be Like, here's the sadistic part of me. I thought they were gonna, like, vanish from existence and it was just gonna be over the top sadness. But no, they just turned into a background character. Like, just kind of like Lisa without her wig. My opinions, the coin thing is interesting except for the whole background character aspect. You know, I would wish that there would be more, what's the word? More of a repercussion to playing this game.
Yeah, it just feels kind of bleh, and it doesn't feel, you don't get invested into it at all. Like, you don't really care for the characters, they just become a background character if they lose. What's the big deal? Why are we invested in these characters? We're not. And it's just really slow, and then it's really fast with like the little action scenes, and then it's really slow again. I gave it a 1 out of 5. It was kind of bad.
I give it a 2.0 out of 5. Just because, you know, it is anime, and I love anime. And, you know, let us know what your opinions are in the comments down below.
Just don't watch this anime. It's bad.
Or watch the anime. Don't listen to her. Listen to your heart. Listen to the heart of the cards. Eh? And remember, kids, you can't spell dweeb without weeb. Good night.
Sayonara.